Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, the Pacers finally completed their first preseason game, and I've had a lot of thoughts about it, actually. I actually had to watch it twice because I watched the first half and then, fell asleep during the second half, and so I watched the entire game over a second time, actually watching the whole game, and I'm realizing that sleeping through the second half maybe wasn't such a terrible idea. But I had some thoughts that I wanted to talk about. I guess we'll get the obvious out of the way first and talk about the injuries. TJ McConnell looks like he suffered a groin injury, potentially. He walked off the court and walked straight into the locker room. TJ McConnell will probably be out for... he'll be out, but he'll probably be ready to go by the time the season starts. You never know. Groin injuries happen all the time. I know LeBron James, he gets a groin injury and he's out for 3 fucking months. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with TJ McConnell. As for Delon Wright, Delon Wright is a guy that I think will definitely be ready by season start. Yeah, he did have a pretty nasty hit with, I think his name is Jalen Clark. Jalen Clark went to steal the ball, and when he went to steal the ball, Delon Wright turned around and they had kind of a noggin to noggin hit. Delon Wright actually ended up his mouth was bleeding. Actually, he cut his eye open and everything, and then whacked his head against the floor pretty hard. At least if you watch the replay, it looks like it was pretty hard. They actually had to help him off the floor and walk him off. Aaron Nesmith helped him back to the locker room, but I do think Delon Wright should be good to go by the season opener. So it's preseason. We still have Quentin Jackson. We still have Ray J. Dennis. Andrew Nembhard is still there. So I'm not, obviously I hope Delon Wright gets better, but as far as depth goes on the depth chart, I'm not really worried about it at the moment. I will say this, there's maybe one or two things I have a problem with in this game, and people are probably not going to like what I have to say about a particular player. But I do want to say this. I want to start off on a good note and say that the first 2 quarters and what we saw out of the starters looked very good. As far as ball movement, as far as spacing, everything looked good, but there's concerns a little bit that I have about certain things. I will say this, 11 turnovers at halftime is not good. They had 11 turnovers at halftime. The Pacers had turned the ball over 11 times by halftime. It's not good. Those are the type of numbers you have usually for an entire game when you're in the regular season. Obviously, it's preseason. They're still working out the kinks, so I'm not going to go crazy over it. But there was, it's still concerning. You know what I'm saying? You need to take care of the basketball if you want to win games. And this is a game that went to overtime that should not have went to overtime. This is a game we should have won, clean and clear. But I understand, second half, you got, guys that are really maybe not going to make the team. You got guys on Exhibit 10 contracts playing. You got guys that are going to get cut that are playing. So you can't really, this is why people say you can't really take preseason super seriously, because there are guys out the Timberwolves had Tristan Newton, Alize Johnson, and Enrique Freeman playing for them. It seems like the Timberwolves have become a former Indiana Pacers farm pickup squad. So it's just the idea, you got guys that are playing in preseason that are not going to make the roster. So I'm not super pissed that this game went to overtime and we barely won it. Because I do know if the starters had stayed in, we were winning clean and clear. So there's that aspect of it. The floor spacing and everything, the ball movement, everything looked pretty good. I will say this, the one thing that looked really good, I mean really good, in this game was the defense. This team, I think in the first quarter alone, intercepted 3 inbound passes off of made shots. TJ McConnell, I think, got one. I know Siakam got one, and I forget who got the third. But it's just the idea They came out with a full court press. Seemed to work relatively well. So it's very obvious that without Halliburton this year, defense is a major point of emphasis for this team, and it's going to have to be. One of the things that's always been kind of I hate to say a telltale sign, but usually if you're a team and you want to compete for a championship in any type of way, usually you have to be a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense in the NBA. At minimal on defense, you have to be a top 15. And this team's going to do that. I will say this, top 10 is definitely a possibility based on what I've seen in preseason. I'm adding air quotes around it because it's preseason, but it's just the idea. What I saw defensively in the first half, I was very impressed with. Even when it comes to Anthony Edwards, I forget what they held him to, but I do know, hold on, Pacers versus Timberwolves box score. I know they held Anthony Edwards to some shitty shooting percentage too. If we go over to Minnesota, Anthony Edwards shot 6 of 15. Rob Dillingham, I will say this, Rob Dillingham is becoming a very, very good defender. Rob Dillingham shot 1 of 7, but when you can hold Anthony Edwards to 6 of 15 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3, he scored 17 points, but it was a box plus minus of -6 in 20 minutes or 18 minutes. So that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good considering who Anthony Edwards is and how good he is. Defensively in the first half tonight, what I saw from the starters and the bench unit was very, very promising. Now we get to my concerns, and I'm going to criticize a player here, and unfortunately it's kind of a fan favorite, and that's Andrew Nembhard. I don't know how well Andrew Nembhard is going to work at point guard. I understand it's just one preseason game. It's the first preseason game. But I have a lot of concerns about him being able to just handle the basketball. I understand the only way he's going to get better at that is if he can, obviously gets reps at point guard and continues to do it. I just worry that fans are going to get irritated with it very quickly. Andrew Nembhard is not a good shooter, at least not in the regular season. And he tends to turn the ball over a lot, and there were a couple moments where specifically Rob Dillingham was able to knock Andrew Nembhard off his spot and knock the ball loose, and the ball ends up in the backcourt, and then he comes back up again, and Rob Dillingham almost knocks him off his spot again and can almost get the ball. So and that's just Rob Dillingham. That's not going against some of the best defensive point guards in the league. Portland's Portland, but they still have Drew Holiday on that roster. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's where I'm at mentally with it. Andrew Nembhard's not a good shooter. He's at least not. I don't know how much better he's going to get it as a shooter. I'm hoping he improves as a shooter. But what Andrew Nembhard brings to the table is mostly defensive. So, and on top of it, there was a lot of moments where Andrew Nembhard brings the ball up and he's either taking a shot, which is, I don't know if I really even want that because of how bad a shooter he is. But it seems like the offense kind of just stops. You know what I'm saying? He brings the ball up the court, gets to the three-point line, and guys are just standing around. There's no actions being run, right? Not for Andrew Nembhard. But then TJ McConnell comes in and we're pushing the pace and guys are getting open and screens are being set. So I'm wondering if at some point in the season they maybe make TJ McConnell the starter and make Andrew Nembhard the bench point guard. I would almost prefer that. I think fans would even prefer that. TJ McConnell just knows what he's doing. TJ McConnell can push the offense. He's the longest tenured pacer on the team now. Now that Miles Turner is gone. But it's just the idea, I wouldn't be mad about it, if they swapped Nembhard and TJ McConnell, made TJ the starter and Andrew Nembhard the bench point guard. I understand TJ McConnell is kind of what makes that bench unit go, so maybe that's why they chose Nembhard to start at point guard. And Nembhard will get better at it. I will say that, like, they don't really have many other options anyway. But from what I've seen out of Andrew Nembhard and what I know of Andrew Nembhard, I'm very concerned about that point guard position and whether or not Andrew Nembhard is going to be able to do it and be super effective at it. It's going to have ups and downs like anything, but I'm a little concerned about it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Andrew Nembhard sucks, because there are some good moments, like where Andrew Nembhard finds an open guy and gets him the ball, but it's just I'm not confident in it yet, and I'm hoping Andrew Nembhard can prove me wrong and like make me confident in him. It's just based on the history and even what I saw in this first preseason game, I'm just like, I just have a feeling running Andrew Nembhard at point guard is going to be very rough, at least for the first 25 games of the season. It's going to be rough. So that's my thoughts about Andrew Nembhard. Pascal Siakam played very well. Pascal Siakam did Pascal Siakam things. I think he made 3 3-pointers. So Siakam played very well. Johnny Furphy was actually relatively impressive in this game too. I see why San Antonio wanted him in the draft, or why they drafted him. We traded for him. But Johnny Furphy had a 3-pointer. I think he had 4 free throws and it's this crazy fast break tomahawk dunk. Johnny Furphy is, I think, the real deal. I think Johnny Furphy with some minutes, and he's probably going to get more minutes this year. I think he's going to become a very, very good player. Ray J. Dennis had a good game. Taylor Peter had a good game. TJ McConnell had a good game until he went out. A lot of guys on our roster actually had a pretty good game. As far as the center battle goes, I don't know. Jay Huff, I think, played the best out of everybody. It seems like the team is going to attempt to start Isaiah Jackson at center. That was the starting lineup for this game. And even on ESPN, they have Isaiah Jackson as the starter on the depth chart. So, who knows? That could all change by the time, opening day gets here. But I will say this, what I saw out of Jay Huff was all right. It's just out of my centers, I do want to see more. James Wiseman looked a little skittish. Granted, James Wiseman was also getting, pounded down in the paint, man. James Wiseman, he got down in the paint, and it was he had 3 or 4 guys around him the whole time. So, I don't know. I don't know who's going to start at center still, but it seems like it's going to be Isaiah Jackson. Honestly, I don't know how much I'm in love with that either, but I mean, I guess if you like small ball, it's okay. I mean, the NBA is going in that direction, so it's just, for me, I just feel like Jay Huff would be ideal to start at center, just because Jay Huff he's bigger than Isaiah Jackson. He can stretch the floor. He's not afraid to throw it down. I understand the rebounding woes, but I mean, that's never stopped us before. So, all in all, good game. It was fun to watch. It's great that Pacers basketball is back. I think they did, like I said, a great job of defending Anthony Edwards. And it's very obvious with this team this year that defense is going to be paramount and actually pretty good. It's the offense that we're going to have to worry about. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.